This message is concerning our bridegroom's character as in the Ketubah covenant agreement, our last opportunity to get ready for the wedding. Listen to what John the Revelator had to say about it.
I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory.
Did you know that we've been told just exactly when this message is going to come so we wouldn't miss it?
There was to be a special light for God's people as they neared the closing scenes of this earth's history. Another angel was to come from heaven with a message, and the whole earth was to be lightened with his glory.
If the beast and his image are beginning to rise, then are we not in the closing scenes of this earth's history? Isn't the time right now then? In 1889, Ellen White addressed the brethren assembled at General Conference and told them just exactly from where this light is going to shine.
There is much light yet to shine forth from the law of God and the gospel of righteousness. This message, understood in its true character and proclaimed in the Spirit, will lighten the earth with its glory.
It will shine from our Ketubah covenant. Revelation 18:1 was included in both statements. John the Revelator and Ellen White both prophesied of this day to come, of more light that would shine from Christ's character, the transcript of Christ's character. What is there about the law that we don't already understand? I do believe it's time for the scroll to be unrolled, wouldn't you agree? In looking forward to this time when the message is going to be given, we have been promised two things. Number one, that Satan has planned great hindrances. Number two, God has promised a fresh new impetus. And this message, according to the definition of the word impetus, is one that will inspire motivation, maintain velocity, and overcome resistance. Praise the Lord, for impetus is greatly needed to overcome the hindrance. And in this next quote, we are told just exactly what these hindrances are going to be.
Now at the present time God designs a new and fresh impetus shall be given to his work. Satan sees this, and he is determined it shall be hindered. He knows that if he can deceive the people who claim to believe present truth, and make them believe that the work the Lord designs to do for his people is a removing of the old landmarks, something which they should with most determined zeal resist, then he exults over the deception he has led them to believe. The work for this time has certainly been a surprising work of various hindrances, owing to the false setting of matters before the minds of many of our people.
As we continue, we will see just exactly what these false settings of the matters are that this quote was speaking of. But right now, let's review this quote.
Satan plans to deceive the people with various hindrances, owing to the false setting of matters, deceiving them into believing that old landmarks are being removed. God is planning a fresh new impetus that will inspire motivation, maintain velocity, and overcome resistance.
With that in mind, what about us right now? Where do we stand? Haven't we been told that we are in Laodicea, rich in knowledge and have need of nothing, but yet we're poor, blind, and naked? Naked, revealing that our wedding garment isn't complete, and blind, that we cannot see the light that has been promised to us, nor the fact that we're naked. I do believe it applies to all of us. If it didn't, wouldn't we be sealed? By the way, have we been told when the sealing is? Do we know?
Just before we entered it, the time of trouble, we all received the seal of the living God.
I'm going to ask you 3 questions that I'd like you to seriously consider and pray about. Number 1, if the beast and his image are beginning to rise, then are we not close to or in the sealing time right now? Number 2, we've been commissioned to give the 3 angels' message. But if we're in Laodicea, blind and naked, then isn't this implying that there's more to this 3 angels' message than we have previously envisioned? And number 3, since we have been promised there is going to be a great deception in the works, how are we going to determine between the deception and the new light? Praise the Lord. He has given us guidelines. Let's consider them right now.
In every age, there is a new development of truth, a message of God to the people of that generation. The old truths are all essential. New truth is not independent of the old, but an unfolding of it. It is only as the old truths are understood that we can comprehend the new. It is the light which shines in the fresh unfolding of truth that glorifies the old. He who rejects or neglects the new does not really possess the old. The dust and rubbish of error have buried the precious jewels of truth, but the Lord's workers can uncover these treasures so that thousands will look upon them with delight and awe. Angels of God will be beside the humble worker, giving grace and divine enlightenment, and thousands will be led to pray with David, "Open thou mine eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law." Truths that have been for ages unseen and unheeded will blaze forth from the illuminated pages of God's holy word.
It is the task of the remnant church through Christ to rescue these truths from their companionship with error and reset them in the framework of truth. This last generation of the church on earth, they are to be the repairer of the breach, the restorer of the paths to dwell in. As the sanctuary is understood and preached, it will dismantle many of the errors and evils that have crept into the church, and the gospel will shine forth in all its original purity and luster.
Error in what we believe? How could that be? For we have been given great light.